Good morning, everyone, and I hope that you're able to join me this morning where I have Magdalena, one of my Fresh Start members from when we started. Crikey, it's over a year ago now, Magdalena, that you actually started on the Fresh Start and progressed all the way through. So you were one of my founder membership, and why don't you just, to start off with, give a little bit of background about yourself, where you were on that journey with food before we actually knew one another.
Hi everyone. Um, it's it all started very very early from my childhood, which actually I realized during the course with you. Um, I've always been a chubby kid, and it's sort of, you don't pay attention when you're a child really, but as you grow up, you realize, you stand out a little bit because let's be honest, people don't like fat people. Um, and you sort of start to realize you're not happy with yourself because if you feel like you stand out, that means it's wrong. And you just feel like, I need to do something. And I don't believe that girls at the age of 12 should think they should go on a diet because, you should be doing other things. You should be still playing with dolls and just be a happy kid. Um, my parents' knowledge on nutrition and actually psychological approach to the subject was actually non-existent, and I don't blame them. They just didn't have this knowledge passed on. They didn't have resources to access it. So I struggled with my weight since I was about 6, I would say. Um, and throughout all the years until my teenage years, it was sort of um, hiding, finding sweets, hiding, and trying to get them when I was always told, no, you can't have them because you're too big. Look, your clothes don't fit. Look, we have to go shopping again for your clothes because they don't fit. So like after dinner, everyone would have a slice of cake, and I would have like the tiniest slither. So I'm sort of not missed out, but you can tell, well, that's not fair. Everyone got a proper slice but me. So um, I think you just develop these mechanisms, and it's like embedded in us from ages ago. It's like a prime instinct. If I can't have something, I will find a way to get it, to find it. So I think this way I developed binge eating and sort of soothing all my emotions with food because it was a quick fix. It was always there. It was easy to access because you don't even have to spend lots of money. If you have your pocket money as a kid, and especially years ago when things were cheaper, you could still go and buy yourself treats, even you didn't have to ask your mom for money. So that's how I end up going into my teenage years, being even more self-conscious as we all are, when we hit the age of, 15, 16. Um, and basically until I went into my 20s, went to uni, I was always unhappy about myself. I always felt judged. I um, i never wanted to go to any parties, or even if I went, I sort of acted differently. I had to put this persona on when I would be, oh, she's the chubby funny one, basically. Although I do like to have a laugh with people, I do like to go to parties. Sometimes it would be pretended because I just wanted people to like me. I kept thinking people won't like me because I'm overweight. Um, I kept thinking people won't like me on their photos because I'm overweight. And it just really, really sort of degrades you. It really makes you feel unworthy and upset. And it actually has an impact on another aspects of your life because I always kept thinking I can't achieve anything in my life. Even when I got a good grade at uni, I kept thinking, oh, that was just like pot luck, because I'm the loser. I can't achieve anything. And I basically lived like that till my 30s. I'm 35 now. I've done the course with you only just a year ago. So after the course, when it hit me, what I realized, I've wasted nearly 20 years or even more of living like that, not actually living, just
Yeah.
existing, because I was scared to pursue any dream, take any action towards like anything, like, oh, I'm going to achieve this or I'm going to do this, because every time I had this little thought in my head, I thought, oh no, I'm gone. No, I can't really do that. No, I'm not this kind of person. So it just really brings you down, and people don't realize how important food is in our life, that a proper relationship with food is actually quite significant, because, I didn't treat food as my fuel. I treated it as a comforting thing, as a comfy blanket, for all these years. So I never knew how to eat the way it's nutritious for me, how it actually fuels me to do all these things I want to do. I basically treated it as a comfort thing, but it actually made me stop doing things, made me tired all the time, made me just feel, I couldn't be bothered with anything. And we do socialize around food as well, so that's another aspect where the food is involved in our lives. And what's the pleasure of going out for a meal to celebrate something if you don't enjoy yourself? Because what I used to do, I would go out, have a salad, in front of everyone, in front of a group of friends. But then on my way home, get a chippy or get a McDonald's or get lots of biscuits, and basically, first of all, eat, because I was still hungry, because, first you feel like, I don't want to eat anything before because I don't want to be bloated. I want my clothes to look sort of okay on me. So you end up eating nothing. Then you eat this little salad and you're still hungry because it just didn't give you any nourishment really. It's not enough for the whole day. And then I would end up going home and eating because I was still hungry. Kept thinking, oh, I must have looked horrible in that top. Everyone was looking at me. Everyone's probably judging that I ate a salad. And you just end up getting yourself worked up in this vicious circle, when it's like, I'm going to get a salad so people think I eat healthy. But then again, they will probably think, oh, she eats salad because she's on a diet, because she thinks she's fat. But then you feel like, well, I'm going to get a steak or a pizza. But then they'll be like, well, she shouldn't be eating pizza because she's too fat. And you're just like, give
It's a
me a
whole
break.
it's a whole kind of circle, isn't it? It's just
Yeah.
like
And you just
all judgment and
you
yeah.
just feel like you don't know what you're doing, what you're supposed to do, what is right, what is wrong. But because you're not happy, you just reach for the thing you know the most, what is the most comforting at that time for you. So you end up going for food again. And I tried different diets, I tried different exercise, but it never worked, because in my head, I thought, you need to go to the gym and exercise because you need to punish yourself. Well, you had that cake, you need to go and burn it out, And if you go and you exercise, you in that way, with that thought in your head, you don't enjoy it. It's
Yeah.
like a punishment. So when another day comes and you're supposed to be going to the gym, you're just like, oh
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
no. And let's be honest, we find excuses for ourselves very easily. It's very easy. But you just do it because you're avoiding the confrontation. You actually avoid having a word with yourself. Another thing, all the diets, I've lost nearly 6 stone in my life once. And yes, I did look great. I was getting compliments, but I used to go to a restaurant and literally have paying £10 for a Caesar salad, right? Because that was on the menu. It was the most suitable according to my diet at the time. Paying £10 for a Caesar salad with no bacon, no cheese, no dressing. It was literally lettuce, cucumbers, and grilled chicken. Paying £10 for it. What a rip-off.
which everyone thinks is supposedly healthy food for
Yeah,
them, and still it starts digging a bit deeper, isn't it? It's like, well, really, you've got to understand what's right for you, and what is the best food for you, not dictated by
yeah,
all these
because
diets.
the diet I went on, I think like I was under some sort of it. I acted like I was under influence of some drugs because I was like so regimental. It was very strict, but I managed to incorporate that in my life to the point where me and my partner went away once to some, I don't know, comedy stand up in Blackpool, something like that, and we ended up going to the pub so he can have his meal. I sat in front of him, not eating anything, and I had my food in a thermal flask at the hotel. And then we came back, and I ended up eating from the thermal flask on the edge of the bed. Do you know what I mean? Because
All the
that's,
pleasure taken away completely.
yeah, exactly. He's like, can you just order like a salad or something? And I'm like, no, this salad has tomato. I can't have tomatoes. And I don't even know how he put up with me because I was on this diet for 9 months. And it was absolutely ridiculous. I had to plan my life around what I'm eating, when I'm eating. No, it was just, and then I ended up hitting my target weight, and I sort of went, well, I'm slim now. I can go back to eat what I want, but that's not the way. So I gained everything back plus. So this just never worked for me. And through the course with you, I realized it's not about restricting yourself, it's about healthy, reasonable approach and finding out what works for you. So if I want to go out and have a pizza, I will go out and have a pizza with my friends because I'm going to count it as one of my meals. I'm going to incorporate it as one of my meals. It's not going to be an extra. It's not going to be eaten at home, crying over the box because I'm not happy. I'm comforting myself with pizza. It's going to be a meal with friends, which I'm going to enjoy.
Yeah.
And throughout the course, let me just say first, I was very apprehensive. I was like, oh God, it's just another one of them. Like, please just leave me alone. But I was just like, oh, for God's sake, no, just let me be myself, miserable. I know this. I don't want to leave this state. Well, I
Yeah.
want to, but
That
not
comfortable state. Yeah.
it's sort of, it's comfortable and safe, but it's not comfortable really. It's comfortable and safe, but you don't like it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really work for you. But what convinced me, right, was that I always say that every time we talk about it, that you never gave up on me. But also you weren't like in my face, because I get all these offers all the time through my messenger on Facebook. I think people just like randomly scroll through Facebook looking for people, and if you say no, you actually get a lot of abuse. So first it's like, oh, I want to help you, you're going to feel great, love, and all of that. But then when you say no, thank you, I don't think this is right for me, it's like, well, I'm just trying to help you. Why don't you want my help? Buy my diet. You know what I mean? This kind of thing. And after 5 minutes, you just feel attacked on your own messenger.
Absolutely.
And what I liked about you is that I said no a couple of times, I know that, but you just thought, okay, I'll give her time. I'll let her think. I'm going to approach her again, but in a nice, calm manner. When basically the way you've done it, the decision was mine. I didn't feel like I'm pressured into it. And that was basically the first thing, because it was really important to me. And later on, it enabled me to open up and speak about things which, I don't even talk to my mum about, because she just wouldn't understand. So that was really important, because, you sort of need to have this relationship with your coach, with your therapist, where you can trust them, and when you can open up. And it's more like a conversation with a friend. You sort of build this relationship when, like, it's less professional, like not so strict, like you would go to the doctor and spoke to the doctor and it's dead official. It's just more relaxed, and you just feel like, I can get help here. It looks like there is the light at the end of the tunnel. So that's another thing which I really, really liked. And also, you gave me hints and tips, and you sort of guided me into the right direction, but never told me, right, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. Like, some people, in the past, when I signed up for some diet or training program or something, the moment, you pressed enter to send the money, that's it. You get 25 emails or messages, right? That's it. Empty your fridge, throw everything out. Tomorrow you have to just get some kale, and you're going to live off kale for 2 weeks. And then I'm going to log in every day, and you have to put yourself on camera and do 25 burpees each morning. And you're just like,
what have I done?
You're just like, no. You're just like, what have I done? What's going on? I didn't join the army by mistake, did I? And because it becomes such a chore, it just puts you off straight away. And then you just, again, you feel like, you've done something wrong, because you've paid that money, you've signed up for it, you feel like you can't stick to it. And it's just back to the vicious circle. And then you just end up telling the person, like, no, please leave me alone. Just like, don't contact me again.
I think that was very, very, I've been through, binge eating, anorexia, all that kind of thing. And I don't think that kind of approach really works when you've got an issue, with food. It is a journey where you have to explore.
As a therapist, you need to find ways to make your client realize these things, and just help them to find the solutions you already know, but you don't dish them out just like that, because it's sort of one way, because people don't like to be told what to do. It's in our nature. We don't like to be told what to do. It's a similar way, the way we work on our partners. We make them think it's their idea, basically. But it's a similar thing, do you know what I mean? But obviously you give us great hints and tips and great advice, but the way you work with all of us, it's basically making us find out the solution, as we used to call them, the light bulb moments. And I did have quite a few of them. And oh God, I still remember when you rang me on our last phone consultation, and oh my God, it was so funny, because I was actually outside the baths.
I remember it well, yeah.
Walking up and down the car park, talking to you. I must have looked like a right lunatic. But again, I started going to baths, because I don't care anymore that someone look at me. And when you actually, when you're in the water, or when you're in the sauna, and you like really closely observe people, no one's looking at you. No one's bothered. No one cares if you're there. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes I just think you could, like, drop dead and no one would notice for 10 minutes. Because no one cares. Everyone comes to go around their own business for their own health benefits, or whatever, relaxation, whatever you want to do. And and even when I started going the baths, it wasn't purely in my head, right, I'm going to go and do like 55 lengths and this is what I have to do. No, I was just going and doing it at my own time, pace, and just enjoying myself. I started taking personal trainer sessions, which I managed to explain to my PT, right, I just want to get healthier, fitter. If I'm going to lose weight, yeah, it's going to be a bonus, but I don't want you to, train me here like Bear Grylls to survive in the forest. I just want to enjoy myself. And, he sort of was a bit taken aback and like, oh, okay, well, we'll do what you want. So, after a few months, I've noticed I like to do weights more than cardio, which is fine. And I said, can we please incorporate more weights? He was like, yeah, that's fine, whatever you want to do. So, yeah, I just finally enjoy being active and I don't treat it as a punishment. I just like being active. I feel better after all. I'm not out of breath every time I run for the bus. I can actually run for the bus. And I just like myself. I started to treat myself better, and it shows because I started uni this year, and I kept thinking that in the past I can't do it. I just got this job as a healthcare assistant. That's going to be me till I retire. But I always wanted more, and now I know I can do more. And yeah, and you know what? I still have chocolate. I still have crisps. I still had my Christmas. I still went through celebration box. But you know what? I had my celebration box because I wanted to, because that's what I wanted. And I decided, right, I'm having the celebration box today. I'm not having it for the rest of my life because that's what I choose to do. And yeah, it's all about being conscious and knowing what you want to do. And you taught me how to ask myself questions. Literally ask yourself questions. Like, we're so busy these days, we just like run through the day without even thinking half the times what we've actually done. Sometimes we're that busy. I think most of us could ask ourselves in the end of the day, so what have you done today? And you'd be like, right, I'm gone. I woke up, I went to work. No, yeah. Oh yeah, I went to work. Yeah. And then I went, yeah, I've done my shopping, but I can't remember what I bought, because we just can't remember what we've done.
But it's just taking that step back, isn't it? And really, because when we do emotionally eat, it's done so quickly. But when you take that step,
we don't realize.
That step back. Yeah.
And if you asked me after one of my binge eating sessions what I ate, I probably would remember like maybe 3 items out of 15 I actually ate, and I wouldn't remember the rest of it because I wasn't sort of fully conscious when I was doing it.
Yeah.
And it's about realizing and asking yourself, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? And then when you ask yourself these questions, you sort of realize, oh, hang on, what's going on here? Why is it, especially with like comfort eating, it's not easy to ask yourself these questions because deep inside you know the answer, but you don't want to say it out loud because it is hurtful sometimes. It's not easy to admit why you're unhappy, why you feel like that. But if you bring it out, it's actually easier. If you bring it out, admit it, it's sort of out there, and then you can think about the solution. So for all the ladies out there, if you feel like you've been doing so well for so many days and all of a sudden you had a slip and you feel like you've ruined everything, you didn't, because that moment when you realize, oh God, I've been so good and now I've done this, that's actually half of the hard work you need to do. That's actually a great thing that you realize. Just by realizing, it all sort of just goes down very easily. It's sort of the moment you realize, you know what to do, and that's how you get your solution. Because admitting in front of yourself, it's like it's a big thing, but it's a brave thing to do. It's not easy, but doing it just makes it all better.
Absolutely. So, would you say that the membership course brought you to actually, looking further into yourself, taking that step back and realizing what was going on, and kind of moving forward from that?
Yeah, definitely analyzing my thoughts, what I want, how I feel, actually talking about my own feelings with myself, because it's different if you say it to someone, but it's different if you have this little internal talk with yourself, um, and actually asking yourself, what do you want? How do you feel? Think, what could you do about it? Because I think taking action as yourself, that's very good, because I think it's easy to ask someone for help. Look, oh, I'm feeling down. What can I do? Talking to your mate, it is good, but actually asking yourself, what can you do about it? Because whatever you will do, it's gonna be so much better, and it's gonna be, if you work out your own techniques, how to help yourself, you have like a lifetime tool, because you can reuse these tools, these techniques, these things which help you throughout your life. And once you develop them, they're yours. No one can take them off you. You know, a dietitian will give you an eating plan, or like a subscription with advice for so many months. Once your subscription is finished, you have no diet plan, you have no exercise plan, you don't know what to do, you're lost. But if you work out your own little solutions, you have them, they're yours forever. And yeah, I just think, it's a great thing to actually find yourself and know yourself better. And I just regret I wasted all these years, where maybe if, let's say, my mom would know about a membership like that, and the person like you, Margaret, she could maybe help me when I was a teenager,
Mm.
before more damage been done. And yeah, it's a work over time. It's not a quick solution, but something what's been damaged for so many years can be fixed within a month. It's simple as that. You just have to piece it back together slowly, but because it's a slow process, it's gonna last longer, because you're encouraged to work on yourself. You're encouraged. You're pushed a bit further, but gradually. And that's what I like the most about it.
Fantastic. So, in a, if you could say in a nutshell, who would you say that the Fresh Start membership, who would you recommend to do that now?
I think anyone who realizes that their relationship with food affects their life, affects their work, their personal life, and who's generally unhappy should reach out. Um, doesn't matter what age you are. I think, it's for anyone. If you see your teenage daughter struggling and, coming up with these things, oh, mom, I'm just going to have lettuce today, that should be a little alarm, that maybe, she needs to speak to someone and realize that's not the way forward, because the earlier you can start, the better. Because if I could do this when I was 16, I think it would be great, instead of doing it when I'm 35. But it's never too late. So it doesn't matter. You can always achieve your freedom if you're 35, or if you're 60. It doesn't matter. And you will realize how much food is involved in your life, and how much you would rather control it than not to have this control, because it affects so many aspects of your life. you know, it's a social thing, and we socialize. You know, we're supposed to live in a head. That's what I learned on my psychology lessons. You know, we're not made to live on our own. So, you know, food is always around there. And especially in modern times like these days, when you can grab any snack on any corner, you know, it's always there. So if you manage to control it, it's great. Anyone, I would encourage anyone, if you want to buy a membership for your daughter, for your mom, for your grandma, for your auntie, or if you want to do it together with your friend, just go for it. It's well worth it. And I'm just any girl like you next door, and I highly recommend it.
And I love that, what you just said there. You've achieved your freedom. That's just amazing. I love that, Magdalena.
Yeah, because like honestly, you just finally know what you're doing. It's just great. You don't feel controlled anymore because you think, oh, you know, I choose to eat a full packet of biscuits. No, it's actually the biscuits they chose you, to be honest.
Absolutely. Oh, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been, you know what, I have loved seeing the progress of your journey from when you started to now. Just being so confident, so at ease, and you
Well,
have
I would
achieved
never
that
do that
freedom.
a year ago. If you ask me, can you please go live on Facebook on camera and say things about your, you know, your life and your feelings, I would be like, no, please go away. No, let me hide in my little hole. No. No, I would never do that. But I just want people to know. I just want all these women to realize, you know, there is hope and there are things that needs to be done. It's never too late.
And we'll leave that today then, Maggie. Thank you so much. And no doubt I'll be speaking to you soon. Thank
Thank
you
you
very
very much
much.
for having me. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.